Andrew L.G. Hunter.
And I'm Angela Hunter.
And this is the Global Falcons podcast, where we bring you news and entertainment.
In this episode, we're going to be talking about women's health and why it is often ignored.
Yes. This is a growing concern among many people, and not just women. So let's dive into this. I believe I start?
I think I do. So women's health conditions are either missed or misdiagnosed or even a mystery and can take years to get properly diagnosed because they're so understudied and unknown. It's my personal opinion that this is likely due to the fact that women weren't actually in the medical field for hundreds of years, kind of putting us that far behind. So
they were, women were thought of lesser than, and I couldn't think of anything further than the truth.
Yeah, it took us a long time just to be able to vote and enter the workforce. And I'm not saying that there weren't women doctors in different cultures a long time ago. We're sort of speaking from our own culture's history and perspective, and sort of Western medicine and things like that. Women were largely excluded for a very long time.
This is my turn?
Yeah.
Okay. Women are reported to spend 25% more of their lives in poor health than men do. Why is this? Despite having a longer life expectancy, this doesn't really make sense. Your thoughts?
Well, there are some conditions that affect only women and not men, which sort of push them more into that poor health category. Some of the top ones are breast cancer, endometriosis, and menopause. And I think that's likely due to, well, obviously the menopause and things like that are due to the fact that our bodies have to change so much and so often. We go through phases where we can become pregnant and produce another human, and that's a lot of work, and it's very hard on the body. And we have to change a lot for that. And we change during, we change after, and then we shift into menopause where that's no longer something that our body performs. And we sort of shed a lot of the things that we've held in our body for a long time. And it really brings about a lot of changes, especially in our hormones and things like that.
Yeah, there's a study that heart disease and migraines affect men and women differently. While women are more likely to experience migraines, when they do, they are more at risk to heart disease. If that makes sense to you, this is more so than men. This is due to a hormonal fluctuation, like Anne said, and women using the same medications as men do. This is absurd, right? Why on earth, men don't use tampons. Like, obviously there's different things for different people, right? So, this is because only 10% of clinical trials are sex specific. Our suggestion is women should be mindful of the medications they take, and to ensure that they are gender specific to them. There's a bunch of different things out there. We take vitamins every day, and there's one specific to men, and there's one specific to women. Now, Angela wouldn't take mine, and I wouldn't take hers. And it's not because of the label, it's because of the potential effects it could have on our bodies, right?
Yeah, and I don't understand why medication already isn't there. Like, if we know that there's different vitamins for different genders, then there should be different medications. Obviously, our bodies have different hormones, and so I'm ttring to think of the word scientifically, but I'm having a hard time coming up with it.
That's all right. That's the difference between men and women.
They basically absorb things different. And I know that there's a term for that, and I sort of had it in the back of my mind, and now it's just gone. But so different ways that we can fix this gap that's been created by this unreliable data and underfunding and underrepresentation in clinical research. Like you said, there's only 10% of clinical research that is gender-based, and that's clearly a gap because we're all taking the same medication and it's not having the same effects. It's producing different side effects because our hormones are different and they're metabolizing it differently. That is the word I was trying to think of. Metabolizing it differently. And it just came out there. So obviously there needs to be more data in this area. There needs to be more funding for gender specific medications for different things. And I think that'll go a long way and make a big difference. I know that there's and a
Yeah.
big focus on it now, which is great, but there just needs to be so much more.
Yeah.
And
I think AI is taking a direction in this too. I think we mentioned this in one of our old podcasts, so you can check those out. And bear with us; we keep getting better and growing. So, um, there's AI that works with your phone now too, that can like tell certain coughs and tell certain things that are wrong with you. So like there's things that can be done to integrate that with gender specific people. And I know that we live in this weird time right now when there's like supposedly like 10 different genders, and let's be honest here. When it comes to the organs that are in your body, there's only two different genders. Okay, you can be different up here, but your body's going to say something else, and you can change these things. But then also you're changing your whole genetic data, and that's not good for you either. So I think if we are going to go down that path, we still need to be mindful that we need to look at things differently. Not that, hey, we can take somebody and change them differently. We need to look at like, hey, what were they born with? And what are the medications that they'll need, if any? I'm a big believer in vitamins, which I suppose is a medication in itself. And a lot of these are like not, they're like synthesized vitamins that your body can create, but a lot of them they're just totally made up, and your body doesn't produce them at all, but somehow they do help you. So that's something to be mindful of. I know that like I have nerve damage all over my body now from a car accident, and I use vitamin B because it's specific to not just men or women, but it's specific to that type of injury. So
maybe that's another thing for the medical industry to sort of focus on, that vitamins are not specific to gender, whereas these medications that they're developing and synthesizing clearly are, because they're metabolized differently. But maybe they should look at pulling in more vitamins, which
that's
we
a
do
good
have
idea.
different men and women's vitamins. So it would still likely lead to separate medications, but definitely something that they should be working on, and pulling more natural medicine.
Yeah, I was
into
just
the
going to
realm.
say, natural is huge. Like, your first instinct shouldn't be, hey, I need some kind of a pill to suppress whatever's going on with me, because that doesn't actually fix anything. Your first instinct should always be, how do I fix this, right? What is the proper, intake into my body that I need that is going to make me better, not, kick the can down the road and make it worse later, I think you hit the nail right on the head, right? What else? What else can we talk about women? How awesome they are. My wife here, just a slight brag to her. She raised 2 kids plus this guy, while going to law school, which she's just weeks away from being a full blown. I guess a couple of months away from being a full blown lawyer, and amazing. And I would never ever try to keep her under thumb, And I think we live in a great time right now where women are able to be self-reliant. They're able to grow in any way they want. And, you can wait for somebody to come up to you with some kind of program that's going to make that better for you, or you can just start making steps towards that and, take control of the life you want. That's my one thought there.
Well, that was very excellent.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. It rubs off from her, I swear. All these new smarts I get, it's just from my wife.
Well, we complement each other very nicely.
We do.
It's not a one-way street.
Let us know if you think we complement each other, and if this has brought you any value.
Yeah, and if it has, share it with a friend. Like, subscribe, put some comments in the comment section down below. We love reading those. They're always very helpful.
It helps us grow the channel, and it brings us better content. Brings you better content. Brings us the ability to bring you better content.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay, well, this has been the Global Falcons podcast on how women's health is often ignored. So, thank you for coming, and we'll see you on the next episode.